I'm Dale Hull, Humanities Facilitator for the Great Lakes Chamber Orchestra. The Great Lakes Chamber Orchestra received funding from the Michigan Humanities Council in support of Bridging Cultures, South and North America, a humanities project designed and implemented by the professional staff of the Great Lakes Chamber Orchestra under the leadership of its music director and conductor, Matthew Hazelwood. Bridging Cultures brought teachers, composers, conductors, musicians to Northern Michigan to interact with students from North Central Michigan College, from Charlevoix High School, Boyne City High School, Northwest Academy, and with the general public of Charlevoix and Emmett counties. Through language, music, and dance, and a shared sense of what is fundamental about human expression, participants examined the differences in our unique South and North American cultures, and in doing so, found an abundance of similarities.
Well, good to see you all here, especially students. Always like to see students. Thanks for coming, and hope to share some interesting information with you. I literally stumbled into a job with the National Symphony of Colombia 30 years ago, and I signed a contract and expected to go for 2 months, and I ended up staying 9 years.
Nice to meet you too.
So, hi, your name is?
I'd like to introduce Mr. Matthew Hazelwood. He is the conductor of the Great Lakes Chamber Orchestra that I get to play in, and I love it. And he's going to tell you everything about this program that we're presenting for you today. So,
About 30 years ago, when I was getting out of conservatory in New York, I went and took a job playing in the country of Colombia with the National Symphony there. So I've been living and working and going back and forth with Colombia for many, many years. Colombia is a big country. If you imagine the United States from the Mississippi River east, that's how big it is. So the big geographical thing there is the mountains. There's 3 ranges of the Andes Mountains. So the country developed very naturally in regions.
Batuta is a non-profit organization that was created in 1991 by the government of Colombia, following the idea of something called El Sistema in Venezuela. They started this thing in order to have someday the opportunity for kids in Colombia to prevent their involving with guerrillas and gangs and criminal structures, or simply to waste their lives through poverty, through music. And that has to do with mostly, I mean, from all of those, a little more than half of them are children from displaced families, displaced due to war, due to the conflict between paramilitary groups and the guerrillas. They feel that life is not worth for them enough. They feel that they are nothing, that they don't care. We have found that music, and especially symphonic music, brings them together with themselves. We believe in the transformational power of music. Music is capable of making you cry. So music is a very important part of humanity. I mean, there's evidence that show that music is humane, and all the religions, with no exception at all, in history, have used music as part of their connection with God or whatever that and every religion is. But what makes us human is what we carry inside. And I think we believe in Batuta, we think that what we carry inside is better developed through music. So I think what we do is we provide something that is like inner richness.
You'll appreciate this, that most of what we do in terms of the contact with people is via Facebook, YouTube. A couple of days ago I gave a lesson on my phone, which I live with all the time, for a young bass player. Sent me a video in a small city in the northern part of the country, and so I just sat there in the coffee shop where I happened to get the message and wrote back. So actually it's a pretty high-tech kind of thing, even though the places where we work in can sometimes be very, very challenging. The other thing that's really important to understand about what we do there is it's not primarily a music program. It's a social mobility program. And most of the places we work in are very, very humble, with not a lot of resources. And so we come in and we set up a center and we get some instruments donated from the Japanese government, China, European Union, from all over the world, because we have to get thousands of instruments. And then we start working with the students. And it's pretty amazing what goes on very, very quickly. Juan Antonio went to Indiana University and got his doctorate in composition, so he's a composer, and actually composes pieces for beginning kids, for very, very young students. Mozart, the fancy stuff, but I thought it might be interesting for you to hear perhaps a typical piece, a traditional piece of Colombian music on the piano, and then we can maybe talk about that musically.
So yes, part of your brain has to be in 2 and part of your brain has to be in 3. So you have to do like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Take those 6 and divide it up into 2. You will get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's 1 and 2 and 3. Pa. And we have a lot of music written that way. So that's like one of the particularities of. We have subcultures. You know, the people from the coast, the Caribbean coast, are very different from the people up in the high Andes mountains.
Subdividing, and I'm sure your teachers have probably mentioned that word once or 5 million times.
The funny thing about that, if you listen carefully, no one is playing the downbeat. No one ever is playing the downbeat.
Batuta is the name of the system of orchestras that is going on in Colombia, in which people, very poor people very talented, has the opportunity to go and be trained. Have the opportunity to get a new instrument, you know, because a lot of people through this foundation donate instruments. It's kind of like a big door for dozens of people, or dozens of young people, to have another possibility. First, to cultivate themselves, and if they want, to become artists. la melodía.
I liked how they explained everything, and I loved when he played because I just love the piano. It sounds so pretty.
I just loved how they explained how there's not just one type of music, probably when we got to play with the instruments with you guys.
Yeah, that was fun.
I liked how they played the music, and it was really cool. Showed off their culture, and also how they explained the different rhythms. I played conga with them, and it was pretty cool because I got to, it made me feel the music more. Music is just showing off their culture a lot, and it was a lot of fun. You can feel the music pretty good.
I really like the involvement, how they let us play all the instruments with them.
I guess I liked that how good they were. It was amazing. They were really good. He made it look really easy, but then you go and try it. Well, we were playing with them, and it's not as easy as it looks. Yeah, I definitely felt it. I could sort of get a sense of the beat, and it was fun. Yeah, I danced a couple of times. Oh, it's way different. We tried to play a little bit of Colombian music in class, and it's not as easy as it sounds like it would be.
What's that rhythm? Did you kind of play?
Just the rhythm of the music just made me want to move.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was fun. That it was different, and it's something that I've never heard before, so.
I liked how complicated it was, and how he made it seem so easy. You would just be like, oh.
Yeah.
So you kind of really got into it as it got going?
Just the music was really cool.
Yeah. What was the best part of the morning?
Listening to Eduardo play. He was really good.
I like it how it's just the way you just clap when you hear it and you want to get involved and dance.
Yeah, you just kind of.
I just like how they got everybody involved and had the idea of bringing out instruments for everybody to use.
In effect, about as long as the one here.
One is the listening area. So things like piano, drums, long notes in the wind, you have to be listening all the time, not just some of the time, okay? Feels like when you're reading, it's kind of like that. That's okay, but what I want is this. Okay, feel the difference? That's what it should feel like.
But there are many differences. Basically, in terms of the rhythmic patterns that go in and the types of melodic, like the nature of melodic contours.
That end of the beat keeps it going
all the time.
Actually, the tumbao is very difficult because you got tense after a couple of minutes.
Me gusta tu música.
Muchas gracias.
En español, todas las notas son cortas, menos los acentos que son más largos. All the notes are short, except for the accent notes, which are a little long.
B flat part.
Eduardo. Mañana, ¿qué vamos a hacer? En cambio, nosotros, en English, we sit like this. Después hablan ustedes. No, we want them to learn.
Hola!
Cool.
And in many countries, you send the kids
Side, one.
to the side, not to the chick here, so that you get
Lipstick.
contaminated with ¿Quieren aprender a decir hola en mi país?
Una vez.
¿Sí es verdad o no?
Sí. Corbata. Okay, es algo extra, no simplemente un problema terrible. Okay.
Es aquí donde yo vivo, es más una noción de vivienda.
Lo más sencillo posible.
También es fácil porque se me prende el tampín. En las casas de los amigos.
Sí, una fiestica.
Sí, una fiestica, hablar. Cuando yo vine, primero acá hace 5 años, esa fue una de mis...
Give me the music, and of course the orchestra it's their national symphony.
Matrimonio si no nos casábamos por lo católico los dos.
Esta es la política.
Sí. Español 2 es lo más difícil, porque conocen y saben un poquito, pero no mucho. Entonces es difícil hablar. Right now, I travel very often back to Colombia to work with the National Youth Orchestra program there. So I'll be going back on Monday for a week to do concerts there. So since her family lives there, we're on Skype all the time, talking with grandma and all that stuff. And actually for Spanish, fairly slow. I mean, it'll sound fast, but it's actually, compared to the Caribbean Spanish, is a lot easier to understand, and she'll pronounce all of the S's. Okay, so mucho gusto. What's that? Sí, muy distante, ¿no? Los latinos es así.
Okay.
Hola, ¿qué hubo? ¿Cómo estás?
Hola.
Okay. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué hubo?
Hombre.
Hombre, todo bien. Hola.
go.
So concerned about that. That's the word you learned from your book, and that's wonderful. But you
más?
Hola, ¿qué más?
¿Qué más?
Now say it louder. Hola, ¿qué más?
Hola,
¿qué más? With your hands. Hola, ¿qué más? Mr. President, ¿cómo estás? You said tú to the president.
Somebody that you almost by definition, you have no personal relationship. But with somebody, it's 1, 2, 1, 2, back and forth. Very tricky to keep track of. So it's the teeth rattling in the thing that they used originally. That's what that is. So when you take the real one, you just go, and you shake it. 1, 2, start with your right foot and you go right, left, right, and then you go left, right, left. So the beats are going to be right, left, with all three. ¿Listos?
Of the orchestra. We give them a house. Let's move.